Good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Like myself, I'm sure all of you have found a time and place when you were outside, you were at the beach or the pool, hiking, waterfalls, anything outdoors, and you thought, I wonder if we should pack the sunscreen. I myself have forgotten the sunscreen multiple times, and I definitely paid the price for it. I am here to tell you today that sunscreen is essential, and a couple reasons why it is so important to us and our skin. For me, I thought preventing skin cancer is a big one. Melanoma is definitely the deadliest type of skin cancer, and it's one of the most deadliest cancers in general. It's very fast moving, and you gotta catch it if you have it, in time. And it also keeps the skin young. Ladies, I know that that's a big one, as far as sunspots, wrinkles, things like that. I know that a lot of makeup companies are actually putting a low amount of SPF, like 15 or 30, into foundation, which is really helpful if you're outside a lot, like every day. It's part of your job. It's really helpful for us ladies, and obviously prevents sunburn and sun poisoning. That's a big one. I've had that many times, sadly. You live and you learn, and you learn to pack the sunscreen next time. So Mr. Dominic Wu, he is part of the Harvard Health Association, and he wrote a blog in 2018 titled Appropriate Sunscreen Use. Because a lot of people will get past the point of, oh yes, I do need to bring sunscreen, I do need to apply it, but they don't do it correctly. And this will still lead to sunburn, wasted money, and just frustration all around the board. He starts off by saying that obviously we all need to be in the sun at some point. We need UV rays, we absorb vitamin D. It's healthy for our brains, our skin, just all part of our body. It's all healthy. He goes into saying that if you're not outside a lot, you can actually take vitamin D supplements, which I take myself. Again, it's the same thing, just a dietary supplement. It's very good for your body and your health. He adds on by saying that a lot of people will go to the beach or the pool, they'll head out after the winter's over and they think they're pale, and they head out and they don't put any sunscreen on. And he talks about how foolish that is because they think, oh, it's not a successful day if I don't have that lobster red glow. And that's probably the dumbest thing you can do, and I know I've been there, I'm sure you've been there, we've all been there. You pay the price for it, it is very painful. But he adds on by saying that every skin type does need sunscreen. And I know some people can sit in the sun for hours, they don't burn, but it's still doing damage underneath, and it's just something you can't see right away. But it's very healthy to go ahead, just get over it, use that sunscreen. It's super easy, just to protect yourself in the long run. Tashima Price, she is a Melanoma Research Alliance agent. She's a part of that, and she wrote an article called Choosing the Right Sunscreen in 2016. Like I said, some people can get past that. They'll buy it at the store, don't use it correctly. She goes into saying that 90% of skin cancer is from overexposure to UV rays, and that is crazy. That's a huge chunk, and that's something that's super easily preventable. So it's something that we could totally jump on and tackle. She goes on by saying that every person needs at least SPF 30, and I know a lot of people sometimes they say SPF 15 and SPF 80, it's the same, it does the same thing. They do try to strengthen it. It is hard. I went into the research and the chemical compounds and the technicality of it all, but mainly SPF 30, it's like the average. It's what works the best for everyone, and they say it is the minimum for all skin types to go ahead and have. She does say that SPF 15 though, it does better than you think. It covers 93% of UV rays. So that is the majority, but you can still end up burnt and obviously frustrated and in pain. She says to avoid that though, as best you can go ahead and reapply 40 to 80 minutes. So every 40 to 80 minutes, go ahead and put on another coat, just add it on. It can't hurt you. You can never have too much sunscreen, especially for me. I know that's for sure. John Stoddard, he wrote a article for John Stoddard Cancer Center. He's a big part of that, and he wrote in 2018, it was 8 reasons to wear sunscreen. Now this is a big one. Obviously prevents cancer. That's the biggest one. That brings in the fear factor. if you don't want skin cancer, put on sunscreen. That obviously is in the back of everyone's mind. Prevents skin aging and wrinkles. That's a big one for us ladies again. I know a lot of us don't want to look, you know, old and saggy and leathery when we're older. I know I don't. I definitely do have sunspots already. I have a lot of freckles, and sometimes it blends in and you can't tell, which I hope you can't. But it definitely helps with that, you know, keeping the skin young and fresh and just as wrinkle-free as possible. Keeps your skin tone even. I know a lot of people, you know, if you get a burn or a tan, you know, you have like a little tan line. You know, some people are okay with that, some people aren't. Some people want their skin color to be all the same tone. Makes sense, but it helps with that, obviously, to keep you all the same color. Extra skin protection. They say that the ozone layer depletes every year, so it's harder on your body and harder on your skin, so that obviously is just an extra layer of protection for that. It also sets a good example for any kiddos you're around, if they're your own or if they're younger brothers or sisters or even just anybody in your family. It's always a good idea. And it protects obviously all skin types no matter what color. You know, obviously we all need it. We all need protection. We're all here on this earth together under the same UV rays. It's also very convenient. You know, you can stop at any store. I know sometimes they jack up the price, but you can stop at any store. You can get, you know, the paste, you can get the spray on. They make it pretty easy, and it's pretty cheap. So it is a lot more convenient than it used to be. And lastly, it prevents burn and the blister, the heat rash, you know, sun poisoning. I've had it all. It's not fun. So putting sunscreen on definitely does help with all these things. It's very essential to our body. It's very essential to our skin health. And I hope that after learning all this information today, that next time you're out in the sun for a while, you decide to put on sunscreen and save yourself in the long run. Thanks, guys.